Good evening, I'm Brett Baird. This is a Fox News alert. Within the last 2 minutes, the State Department announced it is temporarily withdrawing more staff from its embassy in Tripoli, Libya. Officials are citing security reasons, saying they hope to return them early next week, but they will reassess. This comes 2 weeks and 2 days after the deadly attack on the U.S. mission in Benghazi, Libya. Even though the administration initially and repeatedly denied that assault was terrorism, it was at the same time working with the assumption that it was just that. And in the investigation that we hear is ongoing, not a single FBI agent has been to the consulate in Benghazi because of security concerns. Those are just some of the new and shocking information we have for you tonight on this rapidly evolving story. Here is Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge.
Two sources tell Fox News that within 24 hours of the assault on the U.S. compound in Benghazi, the evidence pointed to a terrorist attack carried out by al-Qaeda. The U.S. intelligence community possessed strong leads that implicated al-Qaeda's affiliate in North Africa, working with a second group, Ansar al-Sharia, that seeks to establish an Islamic state. Quote, no one believed that mortars and the RPGs were just the work of a mob. No one.
It was a terrorist attack.
Asked when he reached that conclusion, the defense secretary today was vague.
Was that a day after, or what's a day?
It took a while to really get some of the feedback from what exactly happened at that location.
In addition to a CIA assessment before the attack that security in eastern Libya was deteriorating, and an August Defense Department report on the rise of al-Qaeda in Libya, there was another warning about Islamic extremists and their potential for action.
There was a thread of intelligence reporting that groups in the environment in eastern Libya were seeking to coalesce, but there wasn't anything specific.
While the White House has consistently cited the need for the FBI investigation to play out, Fox News is told that 16 days after the attack, there are still no FBI agents on the ground in Benghazi because the security situation is too unstable. The chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee says the statement smacks of a pre-9/11 mindset.
One thing we were supposed to have learned back on September 11th was that no longer would we assume that these are criminal matters, but instead they're terrorist attacks.
Fox News is told there was an internal decision to label or approach Benghazi as a likely act of terrorism. This has concrete implications. By tying the attack to al-Qaeda, its affiliates, or those who support al-Qaeda, it frees up assets under the Authorization for Use of Military Force, or the AUMF, a point Panetta seemed to hint at today.
We're going to continue to go after those that would attack our individuals, and I think that remains the case here as well.
While one source says Benghazi seemed, quote, pretty black and white based on the heavy weapons and the level of coordination, Fox News is told that 3 days after the attack, the CIA Director David Petraeus briefed members of the House Intelligence Committee. And like the administration's public statements, Petraeus espoused the view that Benghazi was a demonstration prompted by the YouTube video that spun out of control. This was, quote, shocking to some members who were present and saw the same intelligence as definitely pointing toward a terrorist attack, raising questions about why it took the administration so long to acknowledge publicly what seemed to be well understood privately. Finally, yesterday, Secretary of State Clinton talked about the specific al-Qaeda affiliate, AQIM, that's implicated in the Benghazi attack, saying this.
For some time, al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and other groups have launched attacks and kidnappings from northern Mali into neighboring countries. Now, with a larger safe haven and increased freedom to maneuver, terrorists are seeking to extend their reach and their networks in multiple directions.
Asked if the intelligence community cleared Ambassador Rice's now controversial claims about Benghazi, a spokesman for the National Security Council insisted her statements were consistent with the information available to the intelligence community at that time. As for the use of the word spontaneous, an administration official told Fox the militants in Benghazi saw the events in Cairo, specifically the storming and overrunning of the embassy, and that in part inspired the act or influenced them to act. Brett.
Catherine, I'm hearing a lot of anger privately about these closed-door briefings between what lawmakers are hearing from intelligence sources and what they're getting from the classified briefings from the top of the intelligence community.
One of the elements of our reporting today, which I found very significant, is that when we heard from people who were in that House intelligence briefing from Director Petraeus, that they were troubled by how definitive he was that it was this YouTube video and seemed to be backing away from the idea of terrorism. And this was completely inconsistent with the data that they were seeing at that time. And they said to me this raised profound questions about whether there was good intelligence and how it was being passed up the chain.
Okay, Catherine, we'll stay on it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sticking with the